Suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money.
Have you ever wondered why so many places like these exist in our world today? Why nothing is done to fix these problems? Glaciers are melting, towns are abandoned, energy is wasted, plants are dying, people are unhappy, the sea levels are rising, spaces are ugly, and the earth is dying. We are the problem, so we have to be the solution. People remove themselves from the fact that there is a huge issue happening, but in reality, they're the smallest things you can do, and they could be done from every scale, from making small personal decisions to changing the typical process of construction.
But what's wrong with the way we're living? Why can't we just continue with the way things are? Most people are not immediately affected by each of these issues, or aren't aware of the severity of it, so they don't care. Oh boy, this is a huge problem, but no need to worry, because we have the solution for you.
We are proud to present the new, the easy to use, the pick and choose, the solution to all these problems, the Green Toolbox. It features an arsenal of various tools to improve quality of life and make significantly healthier environments. We have combined what we believe to be the most important aspects of creating a greener and more sustainable environment and constructed an adaptable and healthy repertoire of solutions for you.
Now, the cool thing about the Green Toolbox is that you don't have to adopt each and every solution, but you can handpick specific tools to improve your lifestyle, whether on a city, community, or personal scale. Each change, no matter how small, makes a difference. So today we will be presenting this wide variety of tools, their benefits, and what they will look like through real-life applications using case studies and research.
Greenways are essentially a fancy new way of saying connected green space, which is a critical part of environmental health and can be significantly beneficial for plants, animals, and people. Allowing mobility between green cores increases biodiversity by allowing plants and animals to roam outside of their typical home range, and limits potential for inbreeding and possible extinction. In addition, greenways create new green cores and increase connectivity between them, resulting in an influx of green spaces. One simple way to accomplish this is to utilize and remediate existing infrastructure, such as vacant lots, to create new parks for people and animals. This also helps improve air quality by reducing the urban heat island effect and damages from stormwater runoff. Interventions like the Atlanta Beltway and the High Line use abandoned rail lines to create popular green linear parks. Greenways promote more positive spaces, which increase human happiness. This would also open the door to green streets, which can incorporate many new trees, be for pedestrian use only, and would become perfect places for large public events, like farmers markets. And who doesn't love a good Sunday morning farmers market?
Aside from instituting green roofs and parks, this next tool surrounds vertical gardens and green walls. In addition to looking beautiful, vertical gardens are a unique and innovative way to integrate more green in nature into industrial spaces. These junglified walls can be the closest access people get to greenery in highly populated dense areas that are primarily commercial urban spaces. The implementation of vertical green walls does not require additional space, as they are simply added to existing infrastructure, are pretty easy to maintain, and add a nice pop of color. Vertical green walls like the ones generated in the Villa Verde project in Mexico City provide a nice physical appeal by increasing green space, which increases exposure, which in turn increases physical and mental health. In addition, the plants help remove vehicular toxins, especially when directly under the highway, and make the surrounding air cleaner to breathe and aid in reducing noise pollution, producing a calmer working environment.
Green walls come in a variety of shapes and sizes, from multiple floors on the exterior of a skyscraper to hanging off the side of a house. They can be placed in a hotel lobby, the entrance to a restaurant, or in your own home. Green walls are displayed in the lobby in the Bank of America Tower, or more locally in the Food Science Building. This is a simple and accommodating solution that could have a lifetime of improvement.
Another straightforward solution is to install solar panels. Taking natural light and reusing it will make your energy use greener. There are some fancy equations to calculate how much energy solar panels produce with words like kilowatts and photovoltaic cells, but to put it in simple terms, it would take 16 panels to entirely power a house. Imagine that! In addition to solar panels, we have all heard of the typical hydro and wind energy. The bottom line is that non-renewable energy, like oil, will run out and is literally terrible for the environment, so switch to a healthier renewable resource like wind, solar, or hydroelectric. Another tool that could bolster the clean environment is a product called Plant E. This company invented a tool that takes the energy emitted from plants and converts it into usable electricity. Again, there's a fancy, sciencey, step-by-step solution for this process, but in a nutshell, the energy from photosynthesis travels through the plant to the roots, breaks down, and collects in this device to make electricity. So far, this invention has had the ability to power the lights in a house, but the research is being continued and will one day power much more. This is a simple solution only involving the installation of a small device on the bottom of a box plant or under the soil and could save a serious amount of energy and help the earth.
The next tool in the toolbox is focused on human walkability and clean transit. This includes implementing more sidewalks and four-way crosswalks. If the spaces for walking are safer, greener, and more positive, all while prioritizing the pedestrian, more people would be inclined to walk rather than drive. Walking is important for health, and most medical researchers suggest walking around 30 minutes per day, 5 times per week. In addition to the fantastic physical effects, like stronger bones and better heart health, it can improve your mood, especially in green spaces, and it's completely free. No need to pay some crazy fee to join a gym, and you can go outside and stretch your legs. Again, it's free. Who doesn't love free stuff?
Adding more four-way crosswalks scales down the emphasis on vehicles and creates a priority for human foot traffic. We all know about emissions, hydrocarbons, nitrogen oxides, carbon dioxide, all absolutely horrible for not only the environment, but dangerous to inhale over a lifetime. However, as more of these toxins are released into the air, the more it destroys our ozone, the layer around the Earth that protects our planet from intense heat of the sun. As more holes emerge in our ozone layer, the hotter the Earth becomes, and you will get things like global warming, melting ice caps, seasons all out of whack, and accelerated water pollution. To take it a step further, the hotter it is outside, the more energy is utilized to maintain temperatures with air conditioners and other temperature systems. While driving hydroelectric or hybrid cars does help this cause, walking is the healthiest form of transportation because it prevents environmental destruction and it advances human health.
If your trip is too long to walk, another alternative is the rapid transit system. Installing more accessible bus and train systems that surround the 5-minute walking zone would reduce the number of drivers and promote walking. Rapid systems have been encouraging cleaner and more sustainable mobility all around the world. Don't let the Rutgers buses discourage you from making the healthier choice.
Having a city that is almost completely comprised of bicycles is plausible and possible. Take a look at Amsterdam, where not only are bikes accessible, but they are advocated for. Cyclists have their own lane, their own traffic lights, their own streets, and their own parking decks. To take it a step further, there are heavy fines placed on those who injure bikers in a car, which further discourages driving and instigates other modes of transportation.
One of our larger visions for this project was to create a net zero building, or a building that runs on itself, specifically with internal systems for water, temperature, and lighting. The simplest change is to utilize glass that absorbs the natural heat from the sun, collects it, and reuses it to heat the interior of the structure. When partnered with a natural light dimming system, which automatically reduces the temperature during peak daylight hours, power and energy dedicated to this can be reduced by almost 20% and will dwindle negative effects of energy use on our environment. Another aspect of the net zero building is the recycled materials, including metal from other projects or a combination of concrete and natural materials called slag. These can be utilized for the interior structure, reducing the amount of carbon dioxide emitted from the building itself and making the surrounding air healthier to breathe. Recycled paper can also be employed for the insulation of houses and buildings, so older materials can be reused and to save energy and resources.
Another natural way to make life healthier is to collect rainwater on the roof and repurpose it for plumbing. Collecting already occurring water will create a greener space and reduce the usual amount of water required, so more water can be saved and maintained in its natural environment. A substantial inspiration for this tool was Cook and Box architects, who have not only implemented all of these processes, but aspire for ultimate sustainability and focus on biophilia and recycling. All of these mechanisms can be seen in their construction of the Bank of America Tower in New York City. If more skyscrapers and larger buildings invested in similar techniques, the amount of water and energy saved and the reduction of the heat island effect would be so significant that climate change would be slowed. So, let's be more like them.
Biophilia directly translates to love of life or loving systems and is the center of the biophilia hypothesis, which states that people have an innate need to be around nature and naturally occurring things. Adding more trees and flowers to existing spaces would not only add a physical appeal, but from a scientific perspective, trees produce oxygen and aid in filtering out air pollution, making healthier breathing spaces. They also assist in clearing the carbon dioxide from the air, especially the toxins released from cars, and scale down the destruction of the ozone to provide a cooling effect. So, trees, quite literally, are essential to our survival.
Green roofs are a critical intervention to combat negative environmental impacts in the future. In cities, black rooftops pose a major problem in that the impermeable surfaces are inefficient for stormwater drainage and create the urban heat island effect, where black roofs trap heat and generate a microclimate and lead to hotter summers and more heat-related fatalities in many cities. Green roofs create a positive green space that is beneficial for the environment and for those who experience it. While only taking up the footprint of an existing building, they can also naturally insulate the building on which they are implemented. A green roof is just like a park. It can have multiple types of plants, ranging from smaller herbaceous material to larger trees, and can include benches and walkways for people. While green roofs can be heavy and expensive, it creates a more positive human experience.
In addition to having a great physical effect on the environment, further growth of trees can have a substantial positive psychological effect on us personally. There's been so much research done to prove that spending more time in green spaces or outside in healthy environments can do things like reduce stress, create a better sense of well-being, increase relaxation, and improve mood. When these effects take place, it has a domino effect on the rest of the body. For example, chronic stress is strongly correlated with not only psychological well-being, but with heart health. So, if stress is reduced, heart health increases, improving the quality of life on two fronts. Overall, an escalation in tree planting will provide serious aid in physical appeal, psychological health, and air quality.
A simple solution to this is the planting of trees, including on sidewalks, along streets, and redeveloping vacant lots into planting space. Even adding more pocket parks like Paley Park in New York City is a solution because there is always more space to add greenery. The final tool in the Green Toolbox is the easiest one, making small changes or adding new things to your daily routine. These are the minuscule things we don't think twice about, but if everyone adjusted them, the world would be a much healthier and greener place to live. This includes recycling plastic, walking instead of driving, planting gardens, turning off lights when you leave a room, using reusable water bottles, or using reusable bags for grocery shopping. None of these ideas are new. Just as we've all ignored the posters in the hallway reminding us to recycle, we probably haven't given a second thought about what it could accomplish on a larger scale. However, if one single family home turned off the water while brushing their teeth, it could save approximately 400 gallons of water per month. Crazy, right? Something as simple as that having such a huge impact. Now imagine if all the students at Rutgers did this. We could potentially save enough water the same size as the Raritan River. If we modify our lifestyles by choosing to implement these small changes, they can amount over time and help achieve a sustainable and healthier future. We are the problem, so we need to be the solution.
In the end, people are the solution to the problem. Our toxic lifestyles have accumulated to the problems we are facing now. Despite the colossal effects of unhealthy living, pollution, greenhouse gases, and lack of positive green spaces, there is still time to turn these issues around. So, we have put together a wide variety of tools you can implement to help fix the problems we caused, whether it be adding a green wall to your living room, to taking the bus to work, to designing a healthy skyscraper, or even recycling a plastic water bottle when you're done with it. You pick solutions which work best for you. You don't have to implement all of them, but starting with just one is taking a small step in the right direction towards an essential change. So, in the words of Michael Jackson, make that change.